right. Well, thank you so much, Derek, for joining us today. We are really excited to hear about how Davis and Elkins College uses Accudemia.
Sure. So, D&E, we are a small private college in the heart of Appalachia. We have a head count around 730 students a year, give or take. Like many, schools, we experienced a little dip in enrollment during COVID. And we have had a center here since the 1980s. We were originally a divided center between our support for students with disabilities and our general tutoring. And then we came together 10 years ago, celebrated our 10th year anniversary of the Naylor Learning Center last fall, bringing those together. And so I've been at D&E for this is my 10th semester, or 10th year. And when I came in 2013, I helped with tutoring, but was not actually over the tutoring program until 2014. So I'm going to talk a bit about our evolution from a data perspective. That's really kind of the part of academia that has blown me away, is how easy it is to generate and report our data. We started out when I came in 2013, we were recording all student sign-in, sign-outs on paper sign-in sheets. We had different colors for different groups, and then we'd have a work study spend usually a week or two putting the previous week or 2 weeks information together into a report that then we could send out to stakeholders. And I had come from a previous institution of a larger land grant institution where we were digitizing our processes, and I thought there has to be another way we can try this. So in 2014, when I took over as a coordinator of academic support, we moved to using Google Forms, which of course had a lot of limitations. It allowed us to gather the sign in and sign out information, but then had to take it into an Excel and do conversions of the time to get how many hours and minutes, and then put all that together by athletic status. And students, there was no profile. So if they put in the wrong name or the wrong sport or no sport, then we were missing out on that. And so we used that system for about a year and a half. And a conversation with a colleague in our computer science department, he said, I have a professional computing class. I'll be happy to take a crack at creating something internal. And that began about a 4-year relationship with their professional computing class, using us as their primary client, which was great for the students, but it still produced a product that would gather and create student profiles and sign in and sign outs, but all of the data reporting itself was still manual. So I'd still be collecting that information and processing it manually by hand, using Excel every Friday to send out the reports to stakeholders. And so in a fortuitous happenstance, that computer science professor left D&E, which made me begin to research again my options. And there really was no debate. I wanted to go with academia. I knew the product from previous conferences and things I've attended, and it was the product that I wanted. So I knew that was the way I was going to go. And so when I began the process of onboarding with academia, everything was very smooth. Rachel and Jorge and Nick have been awesome to work with, as we all know on this call, this webinar. And so as I ran my first data report at the end of fall, what used to take me days to run my end of semester report took me maybe 3 hours. And that in itself should say that this is a great product. But what I found is in the day-to-day, student coming in and saying, my coach is requiring me to have 5 hours of study hall. Do I have that? Before, where I would have to, even with our internally created system, do an F find within the internal Excel file and then manually calculate those hours. No longer do I have to do that, right? I look the student up and do the search for that week, date range, and I can tell them exactly to the minute how many hours and minutes they've been in the Naylor Center. Just that in itself, is an amazing thing. On top of that, the automatic reports that are being generated to our stakeholders every week from our identified groups, our at-risk student group, our athletic groups, our support learning program students, our students who are engaging in our academic skills courses. The internal reporting is amazing. But we found by going to an accurate system of data, an accurate reporting system for data that academia provides us, is that we were misrepresenting ourselves, right? We were doing a lot more work than we were getting credit for. In the 2020 2021 school year, the last year we used our internal system, which I would say was much more accurate than Accudemia. We had 358 unique students, which is about 40% of our student population, 49% of our student population. This semester we had 389 students. Doesn't seem like a huge jump, but because of the decline in population, that's 61% of our students. So we had a 31 student gain that we would have missed in the old system. Visits, we went from about 4,000 visits to 9,381 visits. And I could tell you down to the exact visit, which I couldn't do before, right? It was all manual sorting. And so we're seeing an increase of 4,977 visits that we would have missed out on the old system. It's 6,573 hours more this year we were able to report using an accurate system and an average of 234 more hours a week of support. Those are things we weren't gaining in the old system. We were missing in the old system. And because we are a multi-dimensional center, we have both students with disabilities, we have student athletes, we have general students, all being supported under our umbrella. We were missing out on some of these designated groups and reporting what they were doing, particularly our students that engage in support beyond accommodations through what we call our supported learning program. Their weekly activity with our professional academic instructors really wasn't being captured in the old system. And so it validates things like budgeting for those professionals that we were missing out on in the old system. So the ability to track all programs is amazing. The ability to automatically generate reports through weekly scheduling to our key stakeholders is amazing. Our time that's spent on reporting, as I said, the end of the semester report may have taken me a day and a half. Now I'm doing it in 3 hours. The end of the year report, which would have taken me, combining those reports, another extra half a day. I was able to do all the entire report in 3.5 hours. And that in itself, the time saving, makes the reporting features in Accudemia great. So that's kind of the general information that I really wanted to provide about how impressed I've been with Accudemia.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Derek. I really love hearing how the data has revealed so much important information about your operations. If people want to ask you any questions or have anything to follow up with, how can they reach you?
Sure. So I can be reached by email at Fincham, Fincham, the letter D, at dewv.edu, or phone 304-637-1435. And if you're a new user or a user looking at Accudemia and you want to and particularly if you're in a small private institution, you want to hear how this data, or just generally how Accudemia has brought our faculty and staff together, please feel free to reach out about that as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Derek. We're sorry you couldn't be here for the live session, but
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We really appreciate your time, and we wish you continued success with the system, and we hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thanks so much, Rachel. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you, Derek.